Oh, goodness. Hi, baddies. I'm Stephanie Stryker. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I just like to chit chat with you guys about goth stuff. It's like goth talk, but in real life on YouTube. We are back for another little chat, and I thought, since we're gonna have a chat about relationships, why not hang out in my bed? It can be like a little sleepover. Some of you asked me about having a relationship with somebody who's not a goth. Can goths have relationships with non-goths? The answer will surprise you. Can goths have relationships with non-goths? The answer is obviously yes. Anybody can have a relationship with anybody that they want. Duh. But I get the point of your question. Like, how does it work? What are the caveats and such? So the simple answer is yes, of course you can. But the real questions to ask are, do you want to? Do you want to be in a relationship with a non-goth? Because I assume the person watching this video is the goth. And you're thinking about being in a relationship with somebody who isn't. You're like, well, I don't know, can I do that? There's no rules, but is that going to be fun? I'm assuming that's what you mean by that. And there's no such thing as a simple answer to this thing. It's just up to you. So maybe a couple of things to think about. Number one, how important is the goth subculture to your life? The music, the activities, the decor, the movies and other artistic endeavors. How important is that to you, and how much are they already in your life and part of your own personality? You have to understand that somebody who's not a goth, not in the gothic subculture, will probably not value most of the things that you do if they're very strong values that you have. You're gonna have to be okay with that. And maybe it's like, you know, you really like the music and you're gonna listen to Rosetta Stone in your car, but you don't have to have your whole house looking like a castle. You don't have to go to the goth club every weekend. You know, if that's not a big thing for you, then okay, that might not be a big thing for you. And you might be able to get along more easily with somebody who doesn't care about those things. On these topics, how flexible are you? And look at this person that you're interested in. How flexible are they gonna be? Something that I hear once in a while is that folks would be interested in a goth person because they're cool looking, they're interesting and different from what they know, and they're kind of a novelty, I guess. Goth people are a novelty to some people, and so they're like, hey, I'm gonna pick up a goth GF, you know, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good fun time. They didn't realize what comes along with that. It's not just looking hot and like wearing shoes like this. Like, there's a lot of other things that are involved, and a lot of things involve time, money, and music that they might not be interested in. And so you really have to think through, what is it really going to be like in this relationship? Because the number one thing you do not want to do is sacrifice your identity to be with somebody else. It's kind of pointless to do that. There's scenarios, right? Say you're yourself, you're your goth self, living your life, and you just like happen to start to get to know somebody, and wow, you like really start to feel feelings and stuff, and it's just naturally evolving into a relationship. That type of relationship is probably going to be more successful if the other person isn't goth. That's the assumption of all this, because they know you. They know you this whole time. They know all the, or at least a lot of the ins and outs of you, your lifestyle and your personality. They're cool with it and they like it, and they might even start to like it too. That's a cool scenario. That kind of scenario will probably fare much better than the second scenario, which often happens on the internet. It's on an app, you know, other way that people find each other on the internet, especially if you're advertising yourself and you use your gothness as an advertising mechanism. You're gonna attract people who like to either literally fetishize it or just think it's interesting and kooky, and they have no idea what it really means. That kind of novelty relationship is probably not going to be like a long-term thing. Just saying. It might, who knows, you know, don't take my advice. I don't know. It might not really work out. So if you're in it for a minute, then that might be fine. But if you really want a relationship, it's better to organically let these things happen. In my own experience, goth people like stuff very intensely. As you can see, most of our stuff in life has to do with that part of our identity. And if someone is attracted to you, they like that for some reason. A lot of the time, people will start to actually like some of those things for themselves because they can see the beauty in it and they start to like it thanks to you. And you surely will do the same thing, go and like something that is completely not what would be considered a stereotypical goth thing. And that's awesome. That's great. That's why we socialize. We like to learn from other human beings. We're like social creatures. So it's great. It's wonderful. The main point is make sure you stay true to yourself. Don't compromise your identity for some other person. The second point would be realistic about what other people may want to get out of the relationship. I want to say a side note about goth GFs specifically. Goth GFs. The internet has made the goth GF like the ultimate prize. What? I don't know. It's a meme just like everything else. But please, you are not someone's toy at your own expense. If you're going to be a toy, you need to be okay with that. Don't let somebody tell you anything negative about how you are in your identity. Don't let them push you around, and you be you. I mean, that doesn't mean be a bitch. Please, if you are a bitch, consider not being a bitch. That's something that we should all strive for. I've heard these stories so many times, like, I changed my look, I changed my whole self-identity because so-and-so didn't like it. That's sad. A lot of times they'll just stay like that forever and be sad forever. But a lot of times they'll come out years later being like, damn, I wasted so much time because this other person didn't approve of what I looked like or what I was listening to. That's the kind of road you don't want to go down. So yes, of course, please educate the world on how great it is to have a goth GFBF TF. I think that it's great. I like it. It's fun. You get to like take people to the dark side and teach them about weird dark things. And they love it. And if they don't, they can fuck off. That's my advice. What do you guys think? Tell me about your stories of being in relationships with non-goths. I would love to hear them. Bye for now.